Hello, welcome back to second year computer science practical session. So in this session we will learn how to create or insert an element in an array at a given position. As you can see the title of the program, it's a C++ program to insert an element in an array at given position. Here a given position is nothing but a position where a user has to define. So let us see what is an array. We know that array is a collection of homogeneous elements of same type. Here type is nothing but a data type or a return type. So let us see the algorithm. A is the array with n elements. Item is the element to be inserted in the position P. And this is how an algorithm is nothing but a step-by-step procedure for a program, or it's also called as a blueprint for a program. Here these algorithms are a simple statement. So you can see in a step 3 n is equal to n plus 1 statement is given, because whenever I insert an element, automatically my array size should be increased. That's why we have used a statement called as n is equal to n plus 1. For example, if I have only 5 students in a class, if I add a one more students, my total number n will increases by n plus 1. This is how the logic works. Now let us consider an example with an array consisting of n is equal to 5 elements and p the position of the element where we will insert an item. So now we will see for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and we will see out a of I. We will see how the elements are inserted. In a first case, you can see I is equal to 0. You can see the laser point. I is equal to 0. Condition is true. 0 less than 5. The condition is true because my n value is 5. True. And a of 0. It's a position where I have to insert an element called as 10. So I have inserted. So, but after this statement, I will execute the statement called as I plus plus, which is nothing but my value will be increased from 0 to 0 plus 1. So which is nothing but 1. We will see the next insertion. So you can see the value has increased from 0 to 1. So my I value is 1. It is true. And I is 20. Again increment the value of 1 plus 1. So 2. You can see 2. Like this we will keep on insert up to n. The condition becomes false. You can see here whenever it reaches 4 the condition is true. 4 is less than 5 the condition is true. So that I inserted 5 elements because my array index always starts from 0. My array index always starts from 0 and ends with n minus 1. So when a statement goes to I is equal to 5, you can see here 4 plus 1 is 5. When it reaches 5, the condition becomes false. 5 less than 5, it's a false because 5 is not less but it's equal. If I had a I less than or equal, then the condition have become true. Since I have a lesser operator, that's why the condition is false. So once the condition is false, it will comes out of this loop of this statement, then it will execute the next statement. So let us see now. So let the position is equal to p, so that we have to insert the new element at position 3. If p greater than n, the position does not exist, because if my position is greater than n, so my n value is 5. If I give my position as 6, so it is true. If I give my position as 6, then it will become false. That's why I should always give that it should be always less than n. So which is less than 5, so the positions exist. If position is equal to, see, you can see here we can't insert the element since position is greater than n. My n position is 5, but my p position is 6, which is greater than n. So the condition becomes false, then directly comes out of the statement. Here we will see an example. Again we will take one example and we will see the C++ code for insertion algorithm. This is the C++ code. As I told, the first condition is if p is greater than n, so invalid position, or else here my p value is 3. In a previous slide we saw p value is 3 and n value is 5. 3 is greater than 5, condition is false. That's why we will not execute the statement cout. Instead of that, I will go to the else part. In else part we have for I is equal to n, where I initialize the index value to n, then I will compare the index value with the position, then decrement the value. This is what the statement is. So now we will see how this else part works in a statement or in a logic. So let us analyze code by taking n as 5 array elements and position p as 3 and the item variable value as 35. So let us see. So we know that the first statement is for I is equal to n, I greater than p, I minus minus. Till my condition becomes false, this a of I is equal to a of I minus 1 will keeps on working. Once the condition becomes false, it will comes out of the loop and will execute the next statement. Now let us analyze. So we know that we already had an array with 5 elements with indexing from 0 to 4 and the elements are 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. At position 3, which means in the position 40, I have to insert an element called as a 35, where this 40 has to shift to in a 4th position and 50 has to shift to new one more position which we will create now. So let us take an example. You can see we already have created a new index called as a of 5, since because of the statement n is equal to n plus 1. Now we will see I is equal to 0, I greater than p, a of I is equal to a of I minus 1, I minus minus. So first, already we know that we don't have to do anything for this because my I value starts with n. So my n value is 5. So that my I value is 5. 5 is greater than 3. The condition is true. You can see here I is equal to 5. 5 is greater than 3. It's true. The condition is true. You can see here a of I is equal to a of 5 minus 1, which is nothing but 4. Whatever the value I had in a of 4, it's automatically shifted to a of 5. So this is what the statement. So we will move on to the next. I is equal to 4. Again 4 is greater than 3. The condition is true. You can see here a of 4, I is equal to 4. So that's why a of 4 is equal to 4 minus 1, which is nothing but 3. So that's why whatever the value I had in a of 3, that shifted to a of 4, which means 40 I had in a of 3, it has been shifted to a of 4. Whereas I had a 50 at a of 4, which has been shifted to a of 5 in the above statement, for statement. Next, I is equal to 3. The condition is false. Of course, 3 is not greater than 3, but 3 is greater than or equal to 3. That's why the condition is false. So once the condition is false, we will come out of this loop and we will insert an element called as a of p is equal to item. So we will insert an element called as a of p. So which means my p value is what? 3. So a of 3 is equal to item. We already cleared this item by using this logic. So this a of 3 is empty. Now we will enter a of 3. So my 35 came and joined in a of 3 position. So this is what the insertion of an element at a given position. So n is equal to n plus 1, as already I told, I should increase the value of n because earlier my n size was 5. Once I inserted a new element, my n size become 6. So this is what the program. So this is what the program of C++ program. So now let us move on to C++ program. So we know that to run a C++ program in any Windows console, we have to use a Turbo C++. So I have already installed the Turbo C++. Let me open the Turbo C++. And you have to install the Turbo C++ according to your operating system. So start Turbo C++. It is opening. You can see already some of the files has been opened. I already developed the C++ program. Let us analyze it. So we will go to the C++. So this is what the program called as C++ program. Okay, let me give a program name command. We know that how to give a multi-line command in a C++, that is star. So C++ program to insert an element at given position. So to close the multi-line, I have to again use the star slash. You can see this is a multi-line commenting. To make a one-line comment, I can use the double slash and tell that this is an example of a header file. So we know that these four are the header files. Header files are nothing but predefined functions or library functions, which is already there in a compiler. Now let us come to the downwards. We have a class called as a insertion, where int n m of 100 ele is an element to be inserted, and p is the position, and I is for index, and m is my array name, and n is the number of elements. So these are the data members, and I have a three functions called as get data, insert, and display for displaying the data. So get data is used to get the information from a user, whereas the insert function is used to apply the logic of insertion of an element in a given at a given position in an array, and the display is to display the contents of the array after the final result. Enter the size of an array. I should give the size of an array within this range only, because my maximum array size is 100, since array is a contiguous memory allocation and it is a static type of memory allocation. That's why I have to give the array size within the limit whatever I have declared in a data member. So let us take n is equal to 5. Already I showed in an example. So enter the array elements. We saw how it has been entered, how the code will be running. So enter the element to be inserted. Which element to be inserted? So that is the element. So enter the position of the element to be inserted. That is the position P. Now you can see we have a logic whatever we studied in the same thing. I is equal to n, I greater than p, I minus minus, m of I is equal to n minus 1. The same thing we have used, and we have displayed the same statement. And here in a main function I created an object called as I for a class insertion. So why I should create an object? Because since we are using our concepts of classes and objects to access all these members, data members and member functions of a particular class insertion, I have to create an object called as I, so that I can access the members of the class insertion with the help of a dot operator. So I dot get data of, we will encapsulate I dot insert of, I dot display of get ch. So let us run the program. Before that, let us compile. We have two types of a compile here. One is for compiling. If I compile, it will just note down the errors and will not takes to the output screen. If I use the run will works as a compiler as well as a run. So once I use this control F9, automatically it will runs the program, and you can see there was no error. That's why it directly went to the output screen. Let us capture the output. So let me enter the array size as 5. So enter the array elements. Let me enter the same elements 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Enter the elements to be inserted. Of course it's 35, and give the position to be inserted at 3, and you can see the output. At the position 3 I inserted an element called as 5. This is what output for first one. Let us check for the output for the condition if p is greater than n. What if I give the position 6? So let us see what will be the output. Again the same thing. Go to run the program, give the number of elements as 5. Let us enter the elements 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Let me insert the element 45 at the position 6. You can see here by giving a alt F5, I can see that it's an invalid position. My exit, it will directly exit because I have given an exit statement. That's why it exited from the output screen. If I use the shortcut key alt F5, it will come back to output console so that I can see the result. You can see there it's showing a result. It's an invalid position. So this is what the program of inserting an element at a given position in an array. So in the next session we will see how to delete an element in an array, and how to search an element in an array, and how to, by using the insertion sort, how to sort the array elements. That we will see in the next session. Till that, have a nice day.